Welcome back to the third Saturday in October. Um, I am Bradley. I'm here with Jared. You can find us online at thirdsaturdayinoctober.com, on social media at TSIO Pod, on Venmo at the same, and on buymeacoffee.com/TSIO Pod if you'd like to support these two mopey podcasters. I
No, you come on, Bradley. I mean, yeah, don't be Eeyore, man. You still have lots to look forward to this season. You only have two losses, which we mentioned pre-recording. That's the new 7-0.
Yeah.
So, it does sting that it was a loss to Bama in such a fashion, but it was in Tuscaloosa. So,
Yeah.
it is what it is. So,
In at least on TV, that seemed about as lively as Tuscaloosa has been in quite a while. I know.
because Alabama fans really want to stick it to Tennessee, and our friends like Chris Murphy play humble about it, but they delight in the agony of a Vols fan.
And Chris Murphy is a rare breed too. He
No,
is
I think he's a good guy, but I cannot support his love for Alabama.
right.
And
There are about three likable Alabama fans, and he is at least two of them. Um,
yeah, yeah.
so I want to ask you because I heard something on SEC Nation on Saturday morning. Roman Harper comparing the third Saturday in October to the Iron Bowl. He said, "We don't like Auburn. We love the Iron Bowl. Like it's a great rivalry, but we hate Tennessee. It is Tennessee hate week." And
I
he was
yeah.
saying that Tennessee is the bigger adversary than Auburn. As an Auburn fan, does does that sound right?
I think in recent years it does because Auburn has been the whipping boy to Alabama. Alabama's just it's you know uh not as much of a challenge. I think it's always a good game, but they've forgotten what it's like to take beatdowns from Auburn. And so now Tennessee's more formidable, and I think there's always been hatred for Tennessee, but now maybe it's just for this particular season of fandom in Tuscaloosa, that's kind of gone up a bit. For those reasons, that's my guess. But as an Auburn fan, we've got so many issues. Like we can't even be worried about what Alabama likes or doesn't like. We have to we have to figure out our own challenges. So
True.
I can't wait to be worried about what Alabama thinks. That'll be a wonderful day. We're not there today. So
Oh, well, I know that it, it's I've mentioned this on the podcast before. Josh Pate has said that Neyland Stadium is got to be the hardest place to play in college football because should Tennessee score in the fourth quarter to tie or go ahead, the loudness, the number of times you will have heard Rocky Top, it just gets into your head. And I got to admit, Tennessee, if you're not a Tennessee fan, Rocky Top has to be the most annoying song. I I could listen to it on repeat, anybody's version. Well, most anybody's version, but I could listen to it on repeat. It's much like It's a Small World at Disney World. It gets under a lot of people's
that's
skin.
funny.
It does not bother me at all. But I can see where a, a team like Alabama just does not want to hear that song. So they just sing a song about by a band named Alabama singing about their love for a woman in Tennessee. That's
Well
fine.
said. Yep.
They left the state of Alabama to come to Tennessee. That's all right. Let's go through some of these scores because I was left scratching my head some this weekend, starting with Texas A&M and M and Arkansas. A&M
Yes.
winning A&M, the number 4 team in the country, winning against Arkansas by 3,
Uh,
45-42.
yeah, Petrino's doing everything he can try to secure that Arkansas head coaching job. Not sure it'll be enough, but 42, putting 42 up on A&M is very impressive, given that they're the last undefeated team in the SEC as of now. So
Yes. And this is this has happened to A&M before. Looking really good, and then
yeah, it
second
happened
half
last
of the
year.
season, can they
Yeah,
sustain?
correct. Right now, I'm a believer. I'm buying in on A&M.
Mike
I
Elko,
I I
great
think they
coach.
have the team to beat as of now. So let's see where that goes. But I'm not picking against them right now. They're pretty strong. So
No kidding. Georgia, Ole Miss. Did,
that was a really good game from what I saw, and didn't go Ole Miss's way. That was a road game for them. But first time Ole Miss has really been tested on the road. So because most of their games have been at home.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, they still played well. They're still a good team. They will beat you. They just didn't get a win in Athens, but join the club. There's lots of teams that are really good, like Tennessee, that also didn't get to beat Georgia this year. So these things happen, and yeah, but I'm not counting out Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss is a potential playoff team. We'll see.
yeah. They came a touchdown and 2-point conversion away from tying Georgia and gave it their best shot, but just kind of ran out of gas, it seems like, in the fourth quarter.
Well, and some of that is running out of gas, and some of that is just Georgia just finds a way to win at home, and Georgia's a good team. And when you play really good teams on their turf, these things happen. So, but
Yeah,
if I'm Ole Miss, I'm not hanging my head. I'm not thinking, no, woe is me. They've only lost one game. They're a very good team.
right.
Alabama's lost a game, to put it in context. So, and Ole Miss, at least as of this past weekend, was ranked ahead of Alabama. I'm not sure if that's still true, but yeah.
Yeah. Tennessee loses to Alabama in the third Saturday in October. This game, I thought Tennessee was going to score. I mean, everybody thought Tennessee was going to score right before the half, and they end up throwing a 106-yard pick six. And if Tennessee scores there, I don't know. Tennessee has some momentum going in halftime, but Alabama scores there and then scores again when they get the ball in the second half. And at that point, I thought it was just a hill too high to climb. Um, and I think so. I think it was over at halftime. But proud of my Vols for putting up a fight in Tuscaloosa. We're now 2-2 in the SEC. Really, it'd be really tough to get to the SEC championship game. But like last year, if you can be that third best team in the SEC, you're doing okay. And they're not that at the moment because you still have in SEC play 4-0 A&M and 4-0 Alabama. But there's a lot of one-loss teams who have a lot of football left to play. We'll see what happens.
Oh
Um,
yeah. I'm not giving up on Tennessee. I think Tennessee's still got a lot to play for, and it wouldn't surprise me to see Tennessee get a chance at the playoff. So yes, there's
and
there's still there's still a chance.
yeah, and everybody kind of wrote Tennessee off when Nico transferred. So
Hmm.
w- we're currently 5-2 with a lot of football left to play.
Yeah,
And
that's a really good place to be given the circumstances. It could have been a lot worse.
it could have been a lot worse. Now
Yeah.
we do have an Oklahoma team that is much improved
Hmm.
in a couple weeks.
but they're
But
missing their quarterback as of now, so that I think favors, you know,
and
other schools that play them. So
it's in that place that nobody wants to play, Neyland Stadium.
Neyland
So
Stadium, well said.
and so speaking of Oklahoma, they took care of business against South Carolina 26-7. I'm really bummed for South Carolina because
Yeah, that's hard.
they started off great, and then much like baseball season, South Carolina got to SEC play and just fell apart, which is a bummer because
Yeah.
I wanted to see Shane Beamer go on just a crazy tear through the SEC. But
Yeah, I like Beamer and you like Beamer, and I think South Carolina still likes Beamer as of now, but man, it'll help when he starts winning some more for sure because
absolutely,
he's having a rough few weeks.
yeah. The only team ripping through the SEC right now that's a little surprising, Vanderbilt beating
Yeah.
LSU,
What a
beating
win. That's one of the
yes,
biggest wins potentially in Vanderbilt history, right up there with the win against Bama last season.
absolutely. This has
So
to be
yeah,
the
congrats to them. Yeah,
yeah, they
freaking
win
awesome.
31-24 at home, and they are 6-1, 2-1 in the SEC.
Man.
And
Are you surprised? I mean, you're a Nashville native. You've seen what Vanderbilt has been through over the
yeah,
years. This is unheard of.
it is. And Michigan touts that they are like borderline Ivy League school
Hmm.
and having a great football team. And I'm like, yeah, but is your football team borderline Ivy League? I doubt it.
Oh,
I I don't know that the kind of local talk has been if Vanderbilt would just ease up on some of their education, their academic requirements for football players, just a little bit, they could be really, really competitive in the SEC. And I don't know if that's happened. You've gotten a couple players who have really bought into that Clark Lee culture, and I think this is a perfect mix of player and coach. Uh, it's just kind of a dream season for Vanderbilt. How much longer can they make this run last? They seem like the real deal. So I'm interested to see what the matchup is come Thanksgiving weekend when they travel to Knoxville to take on Tennessee in the last game of the season. Um, we'll see what kind of stakes are on the line because there may be some big implications at that point. We'll see.
I agree.
Um,
Well said.
let's let's go to Florida beating Mississippi State
Yep.
23-21 and then turning around and firing their coach, which it, it's
Well, in
it's
fairness, Mississippi State botched that, and they had a chance to win. They didn't quite seal the deal. So Florida should have lost that game, and
and Florida made
they
some stupid
didn't.
mistakes.
They made a lot of stupid mistakes. No, this was coming. We all knew this was coming. This is no surprise. And now will they be able to tempt Lane Kiffin? And if they can't get Lane Kiffin, can you get Eli Drinkowitz? Can you get some of these other names that are out there? I don't know if they want to go G5 again. It'll be interesting to see. I think there's some really good coaches in G5. So one down the street in Tampa at USF, by the way.
Yep.
But it'll be fun to see what they do. And Florida's still a really top football school, and anybody that's implying that they aren't is, in my opinion, delusional because you can win at Florida. You just need the right, the right folks. And there's I read some articles earlier about some weird stuff going on with like the president and stuff with the school in terms of potential future turnover and stuff. And so I could see how there's some questions about Florida, but I still think Florida's a strong football program. They have pretty much everything they need to succeed. It's just getting the right person in there. And assuming you can do that, Florida's likely to be right back up there with the big boys. And I I mean, you can if you can win at these other schools that are not as don't have the resources that Florida has, I know you can win in Florida. So um,
When
just
was the
who are they
last
going to try to get? Let's see.
yeah, when was the last time a coach went from one SEC school to another?
That's a good question. Man, I don't know. I'd have to think about that. I mean, it has happened, obviously. I'm thinking back to like Houston Nutt leaving. Where did he leave? He left Arkansas, went to Ole Miss.
What was that from? Like was that
I mean, Auburn used to hire from Ole Miss. Like Tommy Tuberville, he came from Ole Miss, and he went to Auburn. But like in recent years, coach that just went from one school to. I mean, we almost had. There was a possibility last year that A&M was going to get Kentucky's coach, get Stoops, and then that fell apart, and they got
yeah,
Elko, which I'm sure they're happy with now. Um, but yeah, that's a good question. I'm not sure who that would be, or I don't know right off the top of my head
yeah. Um
how
be
recent
interesting.
that's
And
happened. But
and we've got two current vacancies, Arkansas and Florida in the SEC, and we do have a very good coach on the market in James Franklin. What what are the odds that James Franklin ends up in the SEC next year?
I think it's pretty good. I don't think it'll be at Arkansas. I'll say that. I think I'd be very surprised if Arkansas doesn't go for either Rhett Lashley at SMU if they can get him, and if they can't, my guess would be they'll go with Gus Malzahn, which honestly is not that great of a hire at this point.
Yeah.
Um, I would almost rather see Arkansas just go G5 and get a winner who wants to coach in the SEC, and there's plenty.
Hey,
So
there's a former SEC coach just down the street at Arkansas State.
yeah, I don't
You
think
can you
anyone
can
who watched Tennessee play back in the day would not want that coach. But if you
you
want
could
Butch Jones, you could get Butch Jones. I'm sure you could get Butch
you could
Jones.
build your program back brick by
But why
brick.
not? Why not just get Ed Orgeron then? You know what I mean? Like, you can't understand him, but that I think that's okay in Arkansas actually. So if I'm Arkansas and I'm looking for something like that, I'm looking at Ed. I'm not
Yeah,
looking at Butch, that's for sure.
agreed.
Um, I I'm not sure who ends up at Arkansas. My thought is they're going to go after Rhett Lashley at SMU. He's an Arkansas guy.
Yeah,
So my guess is they'll do that, and that would be a really good hire for them if they could pull him away. But if I'm Rhett Lashley, I'm not leaving SMU because SMU is in a place to win. Um, they beat Clemson this weekend, so I just don't think they'd be able to make that happen, which makes me think then they go to Gus Malzahn, which I think would be a mistake in their eyes. I don't think they'll win with Gus Malzahn. I think you go after somebody else who's proven G5 or one of these defensive coordinators, offensive coordinators. That's what I would do if I'm Arkansas, but who knows what they'll do. But
yeah.
to answer your question, Franklin at Florida, maybe. Um, if Auburn opens up, I'd be totally happy with it's not if, it's when Auburn opens up. It'd be great if Franklin's available and willing to come to Auburn. I would totally go for that.
And do you think? I guess if you're looking, if you're a team like Auburn, it's like,
Well, you got to think too, FSU could open up. And if FSU opens up, would they just throw a bag at Franklin? It wouldn't
yeah,
surprise me at all to see that happen. So there's a lot of variables that can come into play here in the next couple of weeks. And it's not just as simple as there's two coaching jobs open in the SEC right now.
right. And
It's about to get crazy. And
I think if somebody like a Kentucky or like an Auburn, that there's phone calls going around between their big donors saying, "Hey, let's just throw it all at James Franklin. Let's go all in on James Franklin." I'm guessing you've got one more game with your current head coach because I don't think anybody's going to wait around to make an
well,
offer.
okay, so I know the rumor is that the Auburn is because there's been some consideration in some parts of the fan base that want DJ Durkin, who is the defensive coordinator for Auburn, to be the head coach. And there's plenty of people that don't want that. And so there's discussion that, well, maybe you just let Hugh stick around a couple more weeks so that even if Durkin is named the interim, he doesn't have enough wins, should he win out per se, to merit the job.
Mm.
So it's almost like, and then sadly for Auburn, that's likely meaning you're going to lose DJ Durkin because DJ Durkin is just a fantastic defensive coordinator. Our losses this season have not been because of DJ Durkin. They've been because
Yeah.
of Hugh Freeze. So I really am not sure what that could mean or will mean. Um, I'm curious like you, but there's so many good coaches like we talked about. USF's coach, Tulane's coach. There's some great coaches out there that will nail it in the SEC, in my opinion.
Well,
And I
and it's
hope
only
they
a
get
matter of time.
opportunities. I don't think they'll get an opportunity necessarily at Florida, but I do think you might see John Summerall from Tulane come to Auburn if Auburn whiffs on Franklin, and if Summerall comes to Auburn, I'd be okay with that. Like he's
Yeah.
a good coach. So um, I don't think that's a Billy Napier situation. I really don't because these guys. I just we'll see what happens. You can never predict the future. I mean, who would have guessed that some of these coaches that are failing now would have failed? I mean, or who would have guessed that Kurt Signetti would be as good as he is in Indiana? I mean,
Yeah.
and Indiana
I
threw
think he
him a
just got a big
massive
extension.
bag. Yeah, he's not going anywhere.
No.
That was smart of Indiana, by the way. I know there's some people like, well, he hasn't really proven much, but he's already been to the playoffs. Like, Indiana shouldn't have had no business in the playoff.
Right.
They're right now they're undefeated, so they're number
Who,
two in the
who'd
nation.
have thought they'd be a football school?
That's exactly right. And they are. And yeah, and they're winning. And they got UCLA coming up, and I'd be shocked to see UCLA continue their win streak against Indiana. I don't think that's happening. So
Yeah. Another coordinator to keep your eye on, and I think there's less chatter about him this year because he did lose the best cornerback duo in the country and still has neither one of them back. Tim Banks, defensive coordinator at Tennessee.
Tim
He
Banks, yeah, I would see him getting a job. I don't know if it'll be or yeah, P4,
it'd
but
probably be G5, but
yeah, that's my guess is he would get a G5 job and then pull like a, you know, USF or something like that.
yeah, every off season, I'm biting my nails wondering is somebody going to come snatch him up because Tennessee's defense is not what it was last year, but we lost a whole lot on the defensive line. Uh, are the top cornerback in the country, Jamal McCoy, out to begin the year and still hasn't played after tearing his ACL. He's due back any time, but you you don't want to rush that.
No.
Then you have your number two cornerback go down in the game against Syracuse. So now you've got a transfer and a true freshman playing. Uh, why am I blanking on the freshman's name? But the transfer is Hood, who came from Colorado. But you've got somebody who hasn't been there all that long, and somebody who has been there not all that long, and doing a decent job. But one of Tennessee's weaknesses is their secondary because of these younger guys, um, these guys who haven't been in the system as long having issues. But what Tim Banks has still been able to do, very impressive.
I hope
Uh,
for Tennessee's sake that they can hang on to him for a little bit. So that'd be great.
I'd pay him as much as he wants. I
Yeah, I think that's a good way to keep him. And unless he's got like an obvious no-brainer, opportunity out there, it'd be great to see him stay at Tennessee for Tennessee fans.
Yeah,
Let's see what happens. But yeah.
yeah. But it if we can keep him for another season, it's gonna feel like we've got him for overtime. We got two more games that did go into overtime. Starting with a single overtime game. It took overtime for Texas to beat Kentucky.
Did.
Oh,
That was
0 and 4 in the
yeah, that
SEC.
was in Lexington, but still no excuse. I don't think Texas is that strong. We've seen it. But yeah, I mean, good for Kentucky putting up a fight. I'm not sure Kentucky wins a SEC game this season, sadly.
No. Unfortunately, that is not true. By the way, my neighbor is a Kentucky fan, and her son has a Duke basketball, and I was giving her a hard time today because the bus stop is at her house. And I said, "How did you let a Duke basketball into your house? Isn't that kind of a big no-no?" She's like, "He won it at the fair. Like I didn't have any say, but just love kind of
Yep.
teasing her for that." And then Missouri, who is a very strong team,
Yes.
takes Auburn to double overtime.
Yeah.
Um,
Auburn uh, had every opportunity to win that game and did not. And this is why Auburn fans are pretty much all on the same page at this point about getting Hugh Freeze out of town as quickly as possible. So, but congrats to Missouri. They are a good school, and I like Eli Drinkwitz. I think he's a good coach. So,
yeah.
and they got good players. They did a good job. So,
Yeah. I remember when Hugh Freeze was hired, and there were a lot of Auburn fans who were very, very excited, and it just hadn't panned out.
well,
I'm not sure.
he's done a great job at a number of things. Like recruiting is a great example of that. I mean, getting DJ Durkin as the defensive coordinator and hiring him, that was great. There's been some smart moves, but it just has not translated to wins on the field where it counts the most. And you got to win.
Yeah,
You got to win more than he has, and he hasn't won enough, and it's time to go. So
yeah. It is really tough. And now I don't I don't know if it's easier or harder now that they're not divisions, but you're playing a lot of teams that you haven't played as much, like Auburn playing Missouri. Um,
I'm not even convinced Auburn goes to a bowl game this year. That's how frustrated I am as
oof.
a fan. Um,
And
we still have games against winnable teams like Arkansas, like Kentucky, Mercer, for example. So you could win those three games, and that would put you above the 6 win mark. Or I guess you got to have 6 wins to go to a bowl game. But yeah, I mean, you could potentially have a 7 win season still, or a 6, 7 win season, depending. But you still got to play Alabama. You still got to play at Vanderbilt. I mean, it's I think Auburn's lucky to be 6-6 at the end of this season if that's what happens. So it's
yeah,
it's just yeah, you gotta get rid of Hugh Freeze. He might be a nice guy, but yeah, just not able to cut it at Auburn, and bring in somebody else and let them have a shot.
yeah.
So
Time to start moving on. Um,
yep,
College game day is moving on to Nashville,
yep,
and it's gonna be
that's
so
fun.
it's gonna be
Yeah,
so hard for me not to go down there and just check it out.
might not hurt to do a little drive by. So
The the most expensive ticket in the SEC is Missouri at Vanderbilt at 277.
that's an expensive ticket.
I'm trying to think if there's ever been. What's funny?
That's a top 25 matchup. So in Nashville, and you got
Yeah,
the yeah, and you got game day. So yeah.
just a couple of years ago, you could get season tickets to Vanderbilt for I think around 250, 280.
Yeah.
And I don't know a couple of people who would get a couple of season tickets to Vanderbilt, and then they would
Just to see the other
sell
schools. Yeah.
they would sell one or two of the home games and pay for the rest of the tickets. Because you get to see some good football too.
Well, good football from the other schools, but now
Yep.
you do get to see Vanderbilt play some good football, and yeah,
I
that's
know. And
fantastic.
and people clamoring for season tickets just means more money into your program.
It does.
So excited to see that it's
Did you know the lowest ticket for this weekend?
the lowest ticket for this weekend is
The
Auburn
lowest
at
price
Arkansas.
is Auburn in Arkansas. I don't think anybody wants to watch that.
D
Not even
does
Auburn
Auburn get to
fans.
500?
Um, in the perfect world, Auburn would come into Arkansas and just take care of business. But Arkansas beat Auburn at Auburn last year, and Petrino is doing everything he can. He's putting up points, and Auburn's defense is good, but Auburn's offense is terrible. So I'm concerned for Auburn. Sadly, I wish I wasn't, but I've not been given reason to believe that our offense is capable. And because I don't believe they're capable, it wouldn't surprise me to see Arkansas beat Auburn.
Yeah,
So, and I don't want that, but if that's what it takes to get a certain coach out of there, then maybe that needs to happen. As painful as that is to say, and it is painful. So,
yeah.
but I would appreciate an Auburn victory versus Arkansas. Let the
I,
record reflect that. Hugh Freeze or not.
yeah, I'd love to see it. Alabama, who has just rattled off four consecutive wins against ranked opponents.
Yeah, really good wins. Yeah, they and I'm not sure South Carolina's gonna be able to uh, stop them, but man, they're at home, so there's always a chance.
Let's see what the Sandman can do.
Boy, that'd be a really much needed win for Beamer and that team. So if you can pull out a W against Alabama, I think that can solve a lot of headaches from the past few weeks.
I mean, so into last year, Alabama misses out on the playoffs. There's all this talk is DeBoer really the coach for us? It carries over into week one of this season, losing to Florida State, which looks like a bad loss now. Fast forward 6 weeks, you're 4-0 in the SEC, ranked number four in the country. How hard is it to kill this dynasty? I mean, I know he inherited a really good roster,
Yes,
but I don't know. I was
brutal.
really hoping to kill the dynasty this last weekend, and I think all we did was feed it
Yeah,
because they did defeat a good Tennessee team,
they did.
a Tennessee team who is no longer the top ranked team in the state of Tennessee, which is weird to think about.
Yeah, I
But
can't even process that.
oh well, that just go to Kentucky, go to that ugly Kroger Field. It's a 6:45 kickoff. Hate. I've said this before. I hate watching games at Kroger Field at night on TV. It looks like they've got fluorescent lights on that field, which I do not like the glow of fluorescent lights. The camera angle's weird. The field, uh, the bright green and the bright blue just seems AI generated. I don't know.
Hmm.
Uh, Tennessee, just go beat the brakes off of Kentucky. That's all I want to see. Texas A&M goes to LSU for a night game. Could this get weird?
Um, okay, it's at LSU, and that's where I think if you are going to see Texas A&M slip, you could see it this weekend because LSU coming off that loss to Vandy, they're going to be on the warpath. But is that enough to beat a really, really strong Texas A&M team? We'll see. That's going to be a good one.
Yeah. I loved SEC Shorts this week. If you
Hmm.
haven't watched it, I believe it came out today, this morning. There's a little tidbit of LSU. The LSU character is kind of suggesting to Penn State, "Hey, don't you want to coach?" Um, I thought that was really funny, and I think LSU fans wouldn't hate it, but I don't know. Number 22, Texas. Hey, Texas is back, baby. Um, Back where they belong.
Yeah, back
Ranked
where
number
they belong.
22.
Well said.
The lesser ranked UT. Again, where they should be.
Yep.
Traveling to Mississippi State. This is interesting.
Boy,
Mississippi
let
State
let
is
Levy needs this one. I'll give them
Mississippi
that.
State is on the edge,
Yeah,
on the verge. Can they pull it out?
I hope so.
Come on,
Yeah, it's a
State.
home game, man. They
It,
should be able to hang with Texas. Let's see what happens. But
yeah,
yeah, I'm rooting for them. I wish them
yeah.
well.
Scare Bevo with
Yeah,
those cowbells.
absolutely.
My look, I understand Missouri Vanderbilt is the top ranked um game, and A&M and LSU is the second highest ticket price. Why are tickets only at $52 for Ole Miss at Oklahoma?
That is a very good question.
This is this is a
That's a
it's a
really good matchup. So
it's a higher ranked matchup than Vanderbilt Missouri.
it is.
Um, Oklahoma is still favored by 4.5. I with I don't know. Um, Ole Miss coming off that loss. Ole Miss wanting to prove that hey, they're it's not a mistake, and Ole Miss wanting to kind of rewrite recent history of falling off in the second half of the season. This is the perfect opportunity for that. This is the game, 11 a.m. kickoff too. I mean, I think this game is just flying under the radar. I don't know why Tennessee Kentucky is late, other than it's not going to compete with A&M LSU. Um, I don't know. I want to see this Ole Miss Oklahoma game. That's that's the one I'm really watching this weekend.
Well said.
Um, so I don't know. There is that's your football talk. I I do want to hit on some news out of Tennessee, and I keep refreshing my news feed to see if any developments have happened. But over the weekend, the story broke that the San Francisco Giants have made an offer and are working out a deal with Tennessee head baseball coach Tony Vitello, but nothing's final yet. I don't I don't know what to think. I do know that Vitello was at practice, fall practice on Monday afternoon and told his players, "Hey, if anything happens, you'll hear it from me first." Um, so I don't know. I From what I understand, Vitello is the highest paid college baseball coach. Um, I think Danny White, Tennessee AD, would not balk at bumping that paycheck, giving him another extension, even though I think he just got an extension, but sweetening the pot to stay a little bit more. Um, if Vitello does go to the MLB, what I've heard is one of his two assistants may take over the the head coaching position, which I think would be a great thing for Danny White to do is hire one of those guys who both kind of bought into this culture that Vitello has established up on Rocky Top. Um, but kind of surprising. No other college head baseball coach has made the jump to MLB manager without prior professional experience, and Vitello would be the first. Vitello is also a really, really good coach. Does it? He's also one of those coaches. I don't know if his style will translate to the majors or not. Um, you've seen some really great coaches, Steve Spurrier, Nick Saban go from the college level to the professional level and not do well at all. Um, I'm not sure about baseball, and really just because of the way that Vitello coaches. Um, but you will get some entertainment out of the man. So as of recording, no news on whether Vitello has flown from Rocky Top to go to California, but something we will be watching. I will be watching very, very closely.
Yes.
Um,
And I'm wishing Tennessee baseball the best. So regardless of this outcome. So on one hand, it is kind of exciting that your coach is getting poached or could be getting poached by the San Francisco Giants. On the other hand, you want to keep him around as long as you can. But if you can't, I think Tennessee has options. I think they're going to be all right. So,
I do too.
yep.
I I think, uh, and you'd rather replace a head coach when they leave to go to the majors than when they leave when they are asked to leave, forced to leave because they're not winning ball games.
Well
Because
said. Yep.
it's easier to keep the I mean just ask Coach DeBoer. It's easier to keep the roster together when things are going well rather than when they're going terribly awful. that that's what we got for this week. Jared, any other
Yeah.
thoughts? The
I think the season's not over. I think there's a lot of football to be played. I think there's going to be some fan bases that are going to get even more excited, and I think there's some that are going to be like mine and just dejected and ready for basketball. But that said, I love college football, and I'm going to be watching it no matter what. And yeah, and hopefully we have uh, some teams that can go into the playoffs and represent the SEC in the right way and want to bring a championship back to the SEC. I'm tired of seeing Big Ten teams win.
ugh,
So we need to
preach.
stop. We need to cut that out right away. And then, yeah, looking forward to the future of Auburn football and what coach that could be if and when Hugh Freeze is asked to go ahead and move forward and move on. But yeah, I can't wait for basketball and I watched the preseason game last week. It was great, and Auburn did not win that game. They lost in overtime to Oklahoma State, but it was still a lot of fun to watch a preseason game. That was just an exhibition game. So
Well, your
yeah,
new coach Pearl has made the comment that he will be more even keeled on the sideline than his predecessor,
we
BP.
missed a ton of shots in that preseason game, but man, I could tell already. Man, we got a good crew. Maybe it takes a few weeks for them to get settled and get acclimated, but I think Auburn still has a good basketball team. So are they going to win the SEC? I'm not predicting that, but they are a good team. So
Well, in basketball, as much as any other sport, it's about how you play going into tournament time. Uh,
yeah,
it's why I get worried about Calipari teams and don't count them out, even if they have a rough start to the season or to the SEC schedule, because
yeah, they were Sweet 16 last year, right? So
yeah,
like,
I mean,
yeah,
look what he did first year at Arkansas, and you saw him do it time and time again at Kentucky, and he would do it at Memphis too. Um, by the
totally. Yeah.
way,
Okay, so if
Memphis
Arkansas
lost to
football could
UAB.
do what they've done in basketball, like they just need to swing for the fences. Go get the guy that thinks everybody thinks nobody wants to be at Arkansas and go get him.
Yeah.
So
How crazy is it? UAB, who just fired uh, Trent Dilfer, goes and beats, I believe, number
oh
25
yeah.
Memphis.
How is that even possible? I have no idea, but it happened.
That
So it's like UCLA winning 3 games in a row after they fire their coach. I mean,
right,
it's not
right.
supposed to happen, but it does.
And
So
did you go out to UCLA without
yeah,
telling me?
I was at the Rose Bowl this past Saturday. I saw UCLA and Maryland. Saw UCLA win that game with a field goal at the very end. A great game. Just people in LA don't appreciate college football like we do. But I was in the Rose Bowl. It was in an iconic place for football fans and college football in general. So I have no regrets. I had a great time, and I didn't want Nico to win, but he did. And my buddy's a UCLA fan, so I was happy for him. And I watched a really good football game, so I enjoyed it. Yeah, no regrets there, and I got to spend time at the Rose Bowl. So.
That is awesome.
And
We
given the
we
fact
should
that
have done a
Missouri
better
beat
job of.
Auburn, it was nice that I wasn't as emotionally invested as I would have been. Although, let the record reflect that while I was watching UCLA in Maryland, I had my phone on the ESPN app watching Auburn and Missouri. So I was
It.
watching both games, which probably shouldn't do, but I did.
Wait,
So.
so another testament to uh people don't appreciate college football. If you try to do that at an SEC stadium, you would not be able to get good enough cell service.
No, no, you wouldn't. But you got to remember the Rose Bowl is wide open, and UCLA fans don't even pack out the Rose Bowl. So the Rose
Right.
Bowl maybe had half occupancy, so you could totally get a streaming signal on the phone there, which was kind of nice, I'm gonna say. And then yeah, and let me say this too, because going to a UCLA game had its ups, believe it or not. And one of them was I'm a happily married man. I know you are too, but they have very attractive cheerleaders. I'm just going to put that out there. I've seen cheerleaders at different schools that have just absolutely stunning, gorgeous cheerleaders. UCLA has all of them. They're all stunning and gorgeous, and I was actually very surprised that it was as good as it was. And then the
It's,
other
I mean,
thing,
it's Los Angeles. What do you
well,
expect?
I mean, I mean, maybe USC is the same way. I don't know, but I know UCLA was really, they were not struggling at all. And then the other thing that really made me laugh at the UCLA game, which I was like, why haven't I seen this somewhere else? Is how they do the wild and wacky cams where they'll
Yeah.
show the crowd and they're doing silly stuff and they're trying to get on the jumbotron or whatever. Oh, okay, so they do the Titanic cam and they play the Celine Dion, My Heart Will Go On, and like these fat dudes are like holding each other and like just funny stuff, like people pretending to be Rose and Jack from Titanic with their arms out. And I tell you, I was laughing hysterically at that. I thought that was so good. So I've never seen that at any other game I've been to, the Titanic cam. So I got to give a shout out to the Titanic cam at the Rose Bowl in the UCLA. Well, very creative, very funny.
Hey,
So
when your season has hit an iceberg,
yeah, exactly. Well
just
said. They've hit an
embrace.
iceberg, but they've won the last three games. They're not going to beat Indiana at Indiana, not in Bloomington. That's not happening. But for them to bounce back and win three straight, and then the Maryland game, they won at the very end.
Yeah.
It was kind of a nail biter, and Nico was not amazing, but he found a way. So I'm going to give UCLA their flowers there, but.
They won despite Nico's efforts. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think Nico was that amazing. I watched him. I didn't think he was doing that great at UCLA, and their record's 3-4. So there you go. But that said, I was proud of Tennessee despite their loss to Alabama, and I am excited for Tennessee and their direction. But I can't say that I'm excited for Nico. Unless he just really likes Titanic cams and UCLA cheerleaders. In that case, he's in the right spot. So.
Let me just look up his bio. It does say his favorite movie is Titanic.
Well, there's a lot of jokes that can be made about his choices and how they sank, similar to the Titanic. But
Yes.
yeah, that
Thank
said,
thank
hey
you,
man,
Papa
I'm having a
Email
good
John.
football season, and I'm not going anywhere this coming weekend. I'm going to a wedding, is where I'm going. So I'll be at a wedding. I don't think people should ever plan weddings during football season, and they do. And I can't
It should be against the
hate
law.
on the people that do because they're family, but at the same time, I don't think I will never allow Lana to have a wedding during football season. I'll put it that way. That's
Well, you are a
my
good
daughter.
father. I
Yep.
do have a checkerboard orange and white tie that I will wear to every wedding in the fall.
That's great.
If I have to go, but luckily I'm in that season where I believe all my friends have gotten married.
Yeah.
For the most part, the ones that haven't are smarter than to get married And
Well, this isn't the first wedding. I believe this is this person's second wedding, but we have to treat it like it's a big deal. So they're close enough family that we have to do that. So
yeah,
we will be there, and I will have my phone with me watching football
yeah.
within reason before I get ugly looks from my wife. So
I have done that. I've had my phone, but because my wife and I have played music for several weddings,
mm.
I, I'm sure that I've had games on while playing music for a wedding. I know that I've had games on stage when we're performing, not necessarily weddings, but the Music City Bowl a few years ago, I believe against Nebraska. Um, my wife and I went with my family to the game. We had to leave at halftime to make it to a show. And for the second half, I am checking the score on my Apple Watch. And I actually had people in the audience asking me for score updates. It was beautiful. But
I love it.
yes, I will vote for whoever runs on the platform to make weddings illegal in the fall. We'll just leave it at that. Um, we'll also leave you with you can find us online at third Saturday in October.com, on social media at TSIO Pod, on Venmo at TSIO Pod, easy for me to say, or buymeacoffee.com/TSIO Pod if you'd like to support the show. You can also share this episode with friends who are not Alabama fans. Do not share this with Alabama fans. They, no, they do not need to hear any more about their wins.
No, we
That
need to yeah.
um hope they choke on their cigar smoke.
Amen.
I- I'm gonna say friends, heroes come in all sizes, friends come in all sizes as well, and roll balls.
And I'm going to say War Eagle, despite the pains of this season, I do wish my Auburn Tigers the best. And thank you to you, Bradley.
Tailgate, man cave, living room, pregame, burgers, ribs, chicken wings, chip and dip, pregame, scotch and a lot of IPA, Coca-Cola.